Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Where the Mind Wanders with Spoons and Joe. Say hi, Spoons.
Hey there.
And yeah, we took a week off there, but now we're debuting, or you're watching the debut of episode 17 of Where the Mind Wanders. You can catch us on YouTube at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on our Telegram channel, which carries the same name. So, Spoons, as usual, if you haven't watched the show before, Spoons and I just pretty much let our minds wander and see where the conversation goes, and we're going to do the same today. Um, so, anything of great interest over the past 2 weeks, I guess?
Um, well, I don't know. I started looking at the AI stuff finally after our last episode where I think we talked about how much we despise new technology because we don't like the learning curve with it.
Yeah.
Um, it made me kind of stop and think because I've had a lot of people telling me I need to kind of look into the AI stuff and how it could help me sort of narrow down some things. And so I've been kind of using that. And I don't know, it's been somewhat productive. So I've been doing that. It's uh it's easy to lose a lot of time with it though. I could see where I could if I don't like give myself a time limit on it, I could kind of get lost in all of the directions it can go. You can ask it one question and then just keep narrowing down, narrowing down, narrowing down, and it gives you some different perspective, that's for sure.
Interesting. This is for artwork. Um, or
Well, I did do some for artwork, but actually for like our descriptions on the video,
ah,
I see like you just give it the link of the video and ask it to write a summary of the video, and it just does. And then I would go in and kind of edit a few little things, and it's so you're getting a perspective from the AI of what the episode was about, which was interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was kind of fun to use it that way. And then I've kind of been working with it on some of my business stuff as well, which I still don't have that stuff narrowed down enough to kind of really talk about it yet, but it'll be interesting. I think where it kind of goes. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing the last week or so, that and work.
Hmm.
So, what about you?
Well, the reason we took a week off is because I had a week off from work through the holiday weekend, Easter weekend, and I had the following week off. So Sandra and I went down to the Alps, which is about a 3-hour drive from here, down by the Austrian border, and yeah, spent 4 days, 5 days, or 4 days. Yeah, in in the Alps, we rented an apartment. It was really nice, beautiful view. I have to send you I took a couple photos from the window of the giant mountain that we could see out the
Yeah.
window. Um, but yeah, it was a good time. Fresh air. It's just a beautiful place down there. We used to go like twice a year. We haven't went since like before the Corona thing. Last time we went.
Oh, wow.
So we went down there for the Easter weekend, like we used to do traditionally for Easter since we've been together. And
Hmm.
yeah, it was fun. The weather was nice. We got to walk around in the woods a little down by the lake and explore the little village there and found like this really good ice cream place. Like these Italians were running like this ice cream place there, and they made like Italian soft serve ice cream, like
Hmm.
all kinds of flavors, like kind of like a Baskin Robbins kind of deal, but homemade ice cream Italian style. It was delicious. Like I wanted to go there like every day, like even before dinner, get an ice cream, test out different flavors, and yeah, it was a
Yeah.
really good time. Um, and this week I'm back to work, and um, that's about it, though.
That's good though. I'm glad you had a great trip. That's amazing. Like what a refresh that is to just kind of get out of your element and do something a little different. Relax.
Yep. Mm. Yeah, it's definitely needed. It was needed. It was a good time. I did notice something like coming back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I did, for many years I hated going on trips. Like Sandra loves going on trips. Like we've toured all over Europe, went to Egypt, to the States a couple times, but I never really liked it. And I realized coming back, the day I got back to where I live, that man, I enjoy the good times so much that I don't want it to end. So it's like I don't want to do it just because I don't want it to end. And uh,
Oh, wow.
so that was an
What a
interesting.
cool revelation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it's interesting because Sandra's the other way around because I told her the same thing and she's like, "Wow, I'm glad to be back today." I'm like, "Oh, maybe that's why you like going on these trips because um to me it's like yeah, I have a great time most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't. I like it would be perfect. I realized that if I just took a cruise, I just stayed on like a cruise ship the rest of my life or something like that. That'd be perfect. But yeah, it's these vacations, these trips, like they're so good that I don't want them to end. And
Yeah.
in the past, I always would dread going on them just and then I realized this time around because I didn't have the dread. I didn't have it going to the States the last two times either, our last two big trips.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was always uh, like when I came back from the States, especially, I felt I guess depressed. I guess is the only word
Mm-hmm.
I could say. This time around, I wasn't like that, but I was still like, man, I miss my rented apartment up there and walking around the trails and carefree and like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess it goes to like the that whole Buddhist thing is that you gotta like not cling to the pleasures either because they bring pain. And I realized that's um, what goes on inside me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never really truly realized into this trip that that's what I've been doing all these years.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I love going on trips and I hate when they're over. I hate when they're over, but it never stops me from wanting to go. I just always plan more trips, you know. I've been in a little bit of a slump. Uh so I haven't been on a trip for a little over a year now, I guess, technically. Like a real vacation. So, but I don't know, my life's so different now. It doesn't feel like I'm missing out. So, I don't know. I do like my road trips though. I want to go do some more traveling and meeting up with people again. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I got other trips even this year that I'll be going on. Sandra talked me into I always forget what these islands are called because Americans don't really seem to go there. I never heard of this place. But it's like these islands off of I guess the closest landmass would be like Sri Lanka. There's
Hmm.
these chain of islands that are out in the Indian Ocean that a lot of European tourists go to. And Sandra's been wanting to go there her whole life because she originally wanted to talk me into going to Vietnam this year. And I was like, Vietnam, like, but then she's like, no, no, I found this place. It's going to be like a private island, um, which is it's just a resort island. It's like the island from shore to shore is like less than a kilometer. Um,
Hmm.
so we're going to be going there in September. To fly to Saudi Arabia, and from Saudi Arabia, fly to the main island, and then from the main island take a water plane to go to the private island.
Mm-hmm.
And I play with the thought in my mind. I'm like, well, there's couldn't be a worse place to be stranded. I hope I get stranded on that island. Because yeah, it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. She showed me the pictures of the resort and the beach and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. It's just like blue water, clear water, and palm trees. It looks like a tropical paradise, basically. So I'll be
Mm.
doing that in September. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, that's exciting.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
I get stranded on Gilligan's Island.
That would not be the worst thing in the world, I don't think.
I'd take it. I mean, we probably won't do the show
Yeah.
anymore, but if I don't come back from this trip, just be like, oh, Joe found a great place and he's stuck there and he's enjoying it. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's funny.
Mm.
No. Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows where it's gonna go? Um, mm.
Mm.
Sorry, my brain is just kind of I've got so relaxed today. I don't know. I was noticing this last week how much more productive I've been with stuff. Um, I don't know. It's so weird. It's I was talking to Michelle about it the other day. I said, I think it's being around people like you and her, who are very action oriented. I think it's starting to kind of rub off on me a little bit, where I don't daydream as much. I noticed the last, like even 6 months ago, I was still more, I don't know, in my head about stuff before I take action. And of course, Michelle's telling me the whole time she's like, you take all kinds of action. Look at all the stuff you've done in the last 3 months. And I'm like, I know, but I don't know. It's just different. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I've noticed with that, it's like I've been trying to work on writing projects and I don't have as much stuff to pull from. It doesn't feel like.
Yeah.
Whereas
Well, I
before,
get.
my brain was so busy all the time. It's like there was always something to write out, and now it's kind of peaceful and calm. And now I don't have a lot to say.
I get that. You gotta be inspired for art. Like I've been trying to work on music a little over the last weeks, months, or whatever it's been.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I like doodling. It's fun, like playing around on the instruments or whatever. But I build up this track and then I'm like, I'm not really inspired by this track. Like, it's not like, I've go through spells sometimes, where the muse hits you and you can't get away from your project.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like at the moment, even though, I try to do what I can, like, it's just, I'm not really in the space to, mm, create anything. It's just fun, but
Yeah.
nothing serious or anything like that. But then I've been like that my whole life too. I
Mm-hmm.
jumped through all kinds of arts. Like I can paint and draw and stuff too. And I had to go through like months phases for like months at a time where I'd be painting and drawing all the time, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whatever. It's the same with the music. Um, it's
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to beat myself up about it too, but now I'm just like, well, can't help it. It's just the world of art, whatever your art is, if it's writing or music or visual art, drawing, painting, whatever. You got to
Mm-hmm.
be inspired, or you just like it's not good. You're like, or it's like not in your heart. I mean, I guess is the better way to put it. Like And you go through cycles. If you're a creative person, I don't know anybody who's different in that aspect. You go through creative cycles where you have a muse and then a dry spell for a while. It could be days, weeks, months, years, even, and then all of a sudden you're inspired to do it. The important thing is when you do feel inspired to do it.
Hmm.
You do it because the hard part's showing up. It's always the
Yeah.
hardest part is always just turning on the computer, plugging in the guitar or whatever. That's the hard part. Once you show up and you do something, then you can't stop. You can't put it down. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just, I know exactly what all you're talking about there about being inspired. It's like I had the inspiration to write and I was writing stuff, but like in the middle of it, I would be like, well, what's the point of this? Where's it going? It's like I wanted to have more structure. And then those thoughts were kind of getting in my way and starting to cause a stumbling block. So I'm like, I had to just kind of batch it where as soon as I started doing that, I would stop and take a little break and then just come back and just write whatever. And sometimes it was new projects or whatever. I didn't finish anything, but it felt good to write. It just, I feel like I need more of a point.
Mm. But sometimes it's not even that. It's I could speak from experience, but I also read a book many years ago by Stephen King, the writer who writes all the horror uh, hmm, books that get turned into films. And
Hmm.
he wrote a whole book on how to write. And one of the things he was saying in the book is you just have to show up every day
Hmm.
at the same time, preferably, and just show up and know that like 99% of the crap you're going to put down is just going to be for the rubbish bin. But as long as you keep showing up every day at the same time, suddenly the muse will hit you. And he described writing his books like an archaeologist dusting off fossils. He says, I don't even
Hmm.
know what's under there. I just know there's something. And then I have to sit there with the fine brush and over and over and over, and it could be months before I even know where it's going. So
Yeah.
I definitely recommend that book if anybody is a writer or any kind of art, because he pretty much he's talking about writing because he's a writer, but it's for any kind of artist, musician, whatever. Um,
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't remember the name of the book at the moment, but it's written by Stephen King. I'm pretty sure it's the only like nonfiction book he wrote. So maybe Spoons will put it in the description for this episode.
Yeah, I
Um,
can look it up.
yeah, but it's a really good read. I read it from front to back. I couldn't put it down. It was a very good book, and he's one of the most successful authors of the last 100 years.
Hmm. Yeah, he would know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't even know about the guy that he wrote because it's kind of almost like an autobiography as well. And he was like a school teacher. I think he taught middle school or high school or something like that, English. And
Hmm.
he wrote the book Carrie, which got turned into a movie. That was his first like book. Even I think he said he wrote short stories that he sent into like those editor magazines or whatever before. But he said the
Hmm.
first novel he ever wrote was Carrie, and I don't know how many months, and he didn't know where it was going. That was kind of the point I brought up, or um,
Hmm.
and eventually it got published, and they made a movie. Actually, I think they made a movie. They did the movie a couple times, I think, at this point. Um, but yeah, and then
That's
he
kind of,
made
I was
money,
just gonna
quit
say
his teaching job.
yeah, that's kind of interesting to think that the movie Carrie or the book Carrie came from a teacher.
Yeah.
From that perspective, it's like, ooh, what did he see
Well,
in
that's
the
another
day to
thing he
day?
was saying in the book that a lot of his books are inspired by his real life,
Yeah.
things that happened in his childhood or things that happened when he was a teacher. Yeah, he
Hmm.
wrote about that in the book. He was talking about Carrie and his students and bullying and all this stuff he saw, and so he wrote about what he knew.
Hmm.
And he would also, if he ran into like like an area he didn't know nothing about. Like he talked about something about he was writing and he had to write something about a gun, but he doesn't know anything about guns. So he sought out somebody who knew everything about guns so he
Right.
can make it as realistic as possible. But at first he was just he got to that point and he's like, oh, maybe I should do some more research and make it like real. And but
Yeah.
yeah, it was a really, really interesting um, book. Highly recommend it.
Cool. Yeah, the stories behind the stories. That's that's where my brain goes on a lot of that stuff. I'm always wondering what inspired people. Because you know it comes from somewhere.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's conscious. Like it
Mm,
gets to a point where you make it conscious. Like I was just talking about what he was talking about with the gun and all that kind of stuff. And I've done the same with like my music where I hit a point and I'm like, oh, I got to figure this out to make it better. But the
hmm
whole creative process, I just kind of stumbled across it. He's right. It's just like dusting off, you don't know where it's going. And how many times
hmm
I had like intense deja vu, creating some tracks where I almost got like paranoid thinking, did I hear this somewhere before? And am I copying it? Like, because
hmm
feels so familiar. Like it's always been written is the best way, or always, yeah, it's always been there. It's the
Yeah.
best way I can describe the feeling. And um, yeah, you don't know where it's going. But that's another thing, like I was saying earlier, I don't really feel inspired. Is, I could play around. I love music. I could play around on my instruments for a few hours, but after a few hours, if you get bored, you know it's not going anywhere. If you can't stop,
hmm
keep dusting off the fossil because yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to this point and then you're like, man, I feel like this has already been written and I'm just like I don't know, a channel or something like that
hmm
to put it into something physical. Um,
Yeah. I guess that. I don't know. It's funny you kind of mentioned deja vu for a second there. You know, we talked about that several months ago, and I had talked about how I hadn't had deja vu in like years and years. And last week I started I started having the deja vu kind of stuff again. It's so bizarre because I was like, I thought I thought the deja vu stuff that I had came from the daydream stuff that I would do all the time where I'm imagining all these different scenarios, but I'm not doing that anymore. And for it to just kind of pop back up and start happening again, I was like, I guess that throws that out the window. I don't know. Interesting. Hmm. I don't know. I suppose I've been doing so many things that are sort of new habits. There's no telling, no telling what might happen. I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like my brain is completely different when I try to go and do certain things now. Not in a bad way. It's just, I don't know. Um, yeah. Combination of being in a peaceful environment and then working out consistently the last month. It seems like it's changing a lot of things. Um, I suppose time will tell.
yeah. Speaking of deja vu, I don't think I've had any of that for a while. Yeah. I always have a lot of deja vu, but not recently, not in the last months. Um, but yeah, I just go with the flow now. Like, if I'm meant to like be working on music or meant to be doing something, I do it. I don't think we even have a
Mhm.
choice in the matter, to be honest. Um, whatever our minds are doing, it's like they're just what's the word, editorializing, like making
Mm-hmm.
commentary. Like that's all the mind is doing and all these feelings and whatnot. But like life just happens and you get inspired and you do stuff and um, whatever you're supposed to be doing at any given moment, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of look at it like that.
Yeah. I think I'm sort of more in that mindset these days. Um, I don't know. I've met up with a couple of people over the last three or 4 weeks. People just randomly popping up uh, and having some time to stop in or whatever. And so, like, I've just make plans or whatever. And one thing that I've noticed normally, like when I make plans with people, I get really anxious about it. Um, and like I'm, I don't know, there's like a thousand things that go through my brain when I make plans with people. Like, what if I forget? Or what if I show up late? Or I don't know. Like, I thought whatever you could possibly think of, my brain's trying to like plan it out and head things off. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not even like uh I don't know, it's so weird to just be so not anxious about things. And it's not even like I don't want to meet up with people. It's because I enjoy that. I just um I think that's in the past stopped me a lot from making plans because I work myself up into such a whatever, worried about typically if we're gonna have fun. I always have fun when I meet up with people. I don't know why that's ever like the thought or whatever. But yeah, just to not have any of that anymore, I'm just like, I wonder what I let go of that fix that. Because
Yeah.
that's definitely underlying anxiety stuff, even more so than what I let go of the end of last year. So it's interesting.
Yeah, you never know what. Sometimes you let something go and there's like a whole stack of stuff gets let go and you don't even realize. I noticed that time and time again. Um, like I feel radically different than I did this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be, yeah, I guess it's May um, tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it was literally like last May when I started um, feeling I needed to um, begin working on myself, I guess, spiritually speaking, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been almost a year now. I feel radically different than I did. There's always ups and downs and whatnot, but the ups and downs are not as bad. Um, like I was just talking about earlier, feeling, um, I don't know, sad in a way that I had to go back to life and end the trip and whatnot. But it wasn't nearly as uh, bad as it's been in the past. It was just like a passing emotion. I just let it pass through,
Mm-hmm.
um, and things get easier, and I see the world a lot different, and things have changed a lot around me in the last year. People, ideas, emotions, on and on.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, there's letting go, as we discussed on a earlier episode. It's the main thing, I guess. My meditation practice is sporadic at best right now. um, though I did hold pretty tight to it for a few months there. And the Course of Miracles, I'm still going through. I'm on 252 now, so I got like 4 months left of this, and that's done. I would say that had a lot. Doing that, there's definitely something to that thing, the Course of Miracles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, just letting go and trying to hold a state of contemplation and knowing deep down, like you feel it. It's I guess it's almost like the same like fossil thing we were discussing earlier with creativity. It's like you feel something deeper there, and you're dusting off more and more of it, and you're getting a better understanding of it. Ironically, less with the mind though. Like,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's been an interesting year, and yeah, it'll be interesting the way it looks in a year from now.
Right.
Mm.
I don't know. I kind of feel like every couple of months, life looks so different in one aspect, and then completely the same in every other aspect. It's bizarre. I've been I've been trying to figure out some things about that. I don't know, like how to put some of that into words. I don't know. It's interesting. I think at this point, I've kind of landed where I kept saying I wanted to be, and I actually enjoy it. and, and now I'm just kind of like, oh, I don't know what else to kind of shoot for here, because
Yeah,
like
I,
I'm
I,
kind
I
of
know I know what you mean.
like I'm so, for the most part, relaxed and happy at this point. Um, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
I
I'm
kind of
good.
Well, I was just gonna say, I kind of thought, like doing this offloading of stuff, I would just feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not. I actually would kind of like to offload even more stuff,
Yeah,
have, have even less. So I don't know. It's interesting.
yeah. It's I feel like I'm in a sense floating through life, but that always has like a like kind of a negative connotation or whatever what people usually talk about that. But things in my life are going pretty well. Um, um the thing is that my mind is a lot more quiet than it used to
Hmm.
be in the past, ever in my life. It's a very quiet. Um, I don't really tell myself stories anymore or anything like that for the most part, you know. But
Hmm.
there still is like emotionality that bubbles to the surface, but just like raw emotion that has no reasoning, which is, you know, for me, it was always about reasoning. I got the whole personality wiring is there's no reasoning, and it's just I still go through like emotionalities that come or go through consciousness, but the mind is for the most part pretty quiet,
Hmm.
and I don't really. It's easier for me to just let especially small shit go. Like it's like I even noticed at work like this week since I went back is you know, we have some new people, some people that are not that good at their jobs, stuff like that. In the past, it would really irritate me. You know, it spin this whole story and like, um, um, but now it's like I note it. I'm like, it is what it is. Like, then I kind of just go about it and works over before I know. And um,
Yeah. Yeah, I still get myself into some work situations sometimes where I'm like, really? I was, I was telling you about one from yesterday where I just had a guy that, I don't know, he was trying to make a lot of things my problem that weren't my problem. And I told him, he's wanting me to drop him off someplace other than what he put in the app. And I'm like, I can't do that. And he's like, saying something else. He started telling me something about he had low blood sugar. So I was going to be responsible for him uh, having an accident because of his low blood sugar. I said, I'm dropping you off at the gas station. You said you had $10, so you can go in the gas station and get food. You're fine. Um, I don't know. It's just interesting to watch people try to guilt trip you into doing something for. I don't even know what the purpose of the whole thing was. There was no good reason for him to be giving me all of that runaround, and I just kept saying no. And it was fascinating. Normally, that would bother me that you know somebody would just keep on or try to make me feel bad, like I was doing them a disservice or whatever, and I would take it to heart. But I don't know. I'm either like becoming firmer in my boundaries or I'm becoming less caring, and I don't think it's the latter. So
Mm.
it might sound like the latter, but I'm like if you're gonna tell me you got low blood sugar and I can look at you and I know what the signs and symptoms of low blood sugar are, you might want to pick a different thing.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying. Uh,
Yeah, it's probably
people,
both. I mean, not that you're not compassionate in the sense of caring, but I like that you know when to care and when not to care.
mm-hmm,
That's another thing I've been like kind of really noticing is you just go with the flow is the best way I can put it. But I guess in the East terminology, be your dharma, like what just letting the story of your life play out without interfering so much.
mm-hmm,
Because the things like, I've talked about on this episode before or in a past episode before about the time pressure. It doesn't really come up much anymore. But yet, my whole life I've stressed myself out about time and getting where I have to be and being there early, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, when I stop caring, like I don't, it's not, I didn't stop showing up on time. I still do everything I'm doing, but I'm also at the same time, I know when to hold them, when to fold them kind of thing. Was
mm-hmm,
that's the serenity prayer. I'm starting to feel like I embody, like, give me the wisdom, let me know what I can change, what I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two, or what, paraphrasing. But
mm-hmm,
yeah, I feel like I kind of I'm starting to embody that. Maybe you are too, and maybe that's part of the thing, or the whole East. They talk about the Dharma, or whatever, is the story of your life is kind of playing out anyway. You're just kind of interfering, um,
mm-hmm,
and you're gonna stand up when you have to, and walk away when you have to, and it's not even, and you just know on a very intuitive kind of level, like um, because things are just happening, like, and you don't have to editorialize and make commentary and stress yourself out and blah blah blah,
mm-hmm.
because it's like a lot of people think that you're just gonna become passive and let people walk over you. It's like that's not the case. It's you just
No,
don't feel stressed about it anymore. You don't get pissed off out anymore, or as often, and sometimes you do get pissed off, but and then you're able to let it go easily, or just like passes when the moment's done, when you needed to be
mm-hmm,
angry or whatever, and it's over. You're back to normal instead of like ruminating about it. Um,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, I think that thing yesterday, I would spend a lot of time obsessing about why would they do that? What would possess somebody to spin this lie, and then try to push you this way and that way? And I don't find that I don't care. It doesn't matter.
because it
I just
doesn't
know
matter.
that
Yeah,
they're full of
yeah,
crap,
and,
and I don't.
and that's all you needed to
Yeah,
know. And then you're like, all right, noted, and then you move on. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Like I could waste the energy on it, or I could just yeah, move on. I will say though, I did get quite mad because he wouldn't get out of my car.
Oh, yeah, well, that's
Um,
understandable. You got this man, strange man in your car. You don't get the F out, you know? Like that's I found that very
yeah,
valid. So,
yeah. I told him, I'm like, okay, well, you're trespassing at this point, and you've got about 30 seconds to get out before I call the cops. And he still didn't get out. And so I started dialing the cops, and then he got out and told me for God to bless me and all of this stuff, you know. That's not really what he meant. Um, it was another guilt tactic. I'm
oh
just
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. It's instinctual. Like they
yeah,
know, or whatever about them knows where your chinks are, so they try to poke there.
yeah,
But you're like yeah.
no, it's like try harder.
Mm.
I suppose. I don't know. I reported them. They're supposed to be taking them off the platform, which just means they'll make another fake account and be right back. So, but hopefully I won't run into them again.
If you do, you just keep driving. It's easy,
Hmm.
easy problem to solve. But
Yeah. Yeah. I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't, I don't know. I was like, am I just not doing as well on my vibe check before people get in the car? But I mean, he was just so chill to start with. And then he waited until we got, it was like a 20-minute ride. He waited till we got 10 minutes into it and then started that bullshit. Like, of course, because you wouldn't discuss that right at the first of the ride where people could just say no and drive off. You're going to make it uncomfortable and try to push the point. So, knew all the tactics. I don't know. And people are just funny.
yeah, there's nothing you could do but be kind until you can't be kind, and then when you can't be kind, do what you have to do, and then move on to being kind again. Like it's it's just a natural flow of life. It really is. It really, really is.
Yeah.
If you're skeptical out there about what I'm saying, is you're not going to become a doormat and become passive by any means. You're just not going to waste your energy. You'll feel more peaceful, and you'll, like I said, you'll embody that prayer, that serenity prayer. And you don't have to say it; you just kind of embody it, like
Hmm. Yeah.
because yeah,
Yeah. If anything, I've got less passive during this process.
yeah, yeah.
A whole lot less passive.
Yes.
Um, but I don't know. It's interesting. I don't think that's a bad thing by any means. Mm, yeah, life is weird. I never know day to day what it's gonna be like.
Yeah, same here.
Mm,
Yeah,
I was
things
telling
change.
you,
Yeah, good.
I just I feel like I just keep having these situations where I'm getting to practice those muscles, basically, of just saying no. That's the one I've been doing the last week or so. It's like, oh, I told you this, and I'm in it. I'm in it, and don't let people push you back on it. It's fine. It's interesting. Mm.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's just so many ways. I'm like a 180 from a year ago,
Yeah.
like a complete 180 on everything, like how I feel inside, my the things I think, like the things I believe. I don't even think I believe stuff anymore, to be honest. Like, um, I just kind of let life like unfold It's the best way to put it.
Hmm.
And yeah, ups and downs. But at first, it's like huge swings, and then there's like the swings get less and less. But it's life is ups and downs. It's life.
Hmm.
It's just how you handle it when it comes about, which changes your course. Which we talked about it before with the whole free will determinism thing. They're both true. Um, that's why it's an endless debate. It's just they're both true, but where the free will does lie is how you see it. And how you see it is going to determine how you react. Um, but everything else is just playing out. Well, even that is playing out. Mm.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Life a year ago. I don't know. I guess it was different. Mm, I don't know. I feel like every month or two, life feels really different.
Yeah. You don't notice the small changes, but when hindsight being 2020, when you look back over months, you see,
Hmm.
oh, wait a minute, something changed here. Like you don't, you're like the last to recognize it. You're always the
Yeah.
last to recognize it. Like you just realize it one day, like, huh, something changed here. And, oh, wait a minute, it's been different for a while now. Like, um, but yeah, I feel like I'm doing whatever purpose I'm here to do. I seem to be doing. So, um, and I don't know where it's going, and I don't care because I know it'll be better. Because it'll be better a year from now than whatever. I know that 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know when the jumps are going to happen, but that's also up to life.
Yeah.
Jumps in consciousness, so to speak.
Hmm.
I don't know where it's going,
Yeah.
but
Me either.
I'm happy doing the journey, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes all the difference, honestly. Just being able to figure out how to be happy wherever we're at. It doesn't mean like that fake happiness that people will put out there. Just like, I don't know, figuring out what it is you actually want in this time and what you actually need and focus on those things. They'll take you where you need to be, you know?
Mm, yeah, I did a lesson in the Course in Miracles yesterday because I have the book in front of me. And I was, I'm on a different lesson today, but the lesson yesterday was I am in need of nothing but the truth. And if you have that,
Hmm.
everything else falls into place. And that's kind of like thinking back, that embodies the what's driven my life constantly. I mean, I
Hmm.
thought this was the truth, that was the truth, this is the truth. But now I just say whatever the truth is, that's what I want. And the truth of life, the truth of consciousness, the truth of spirit, whatever. And even though I've learned a lot over the years of different things, I have my teachers and whatnot. I even try to let go of what they have taught at this point, and doing my best just to let it unfold. Like I keep saying that this episode, like because that's the intention here, I guess. And I'm just whatever the truth is, that's where I want to be. Because the and in this particular case, the lesson ends with a prayer. This is when you because it's telling you I'm in need of nothing but the truth, and then the prayer is, and for that peace, our Father, we give thanks.
Hmm.
Um, what we denied ourselves, you have restored, and only that is what we really want. And that's kind of the truth. That embodies kind of my whole attitude at this point. And it was
Hmm.
interesting that that was the actual lesson because, um, yeah, yeah. If you have the truth, you have the peace of God, so to speak.
Hmm.
Um, and I will not settle for concepts and hearsay and all that kind of stuff, or even my own thoughts, because the thoughts just come and go. Like, who knows if they're true or not? You know, the mind is part of the
Hmm.
whole process of life. Um, you think when you have to think or whatever, it doesn't mean that your thoughts are worth a damn though. Like, that's one really big lesson I've learned over the last year is my mind is not, um, um, it's not thing to take pride about, like, I guess. Because it's just like this, what do we say, a phantasmagoria. That's basically what it
Yeah.
is. Not to be take too much pride in it because it just does what it does.
Hmm.
but but life, yeah. Um, if you really truly want to know the truth and not your opinions and perceptions and hearsay and this guy said this and I like this and blah blah blah, throw that all out the window and just let life unfold and things happen, things change.
I think it's kind of like a letting go of searching for the truth and just knowing the truth is.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
I feel like we waste so much time searching for the right thing, or we waste so much time trying to do the mental gymnastics to make something true.
Mm,
But the truth is just the truth.
mm.
Shouldn't require the effort.
Yep, just needs the intention. That's it. The intention and the willingness to let all your crap go, which is the hard part. And you're ready when you're ready. That's why I don't, um, I talk about it on this show or whatever, but I don't bring it up anymore to anyone, because everybody, it truly is where they're at, and you really do have to be ready. And everybody's getting out of life what they want. They don't want to admit that,
Hmm.
but everybody's getting exactly what they want.
Hmm.
So you can't change minds, I guess. You can plant seeds, but it's not up to you if they germinate, so to speak, because it's still, you plant the seed, but it's still the overall conditions have to be right for that plant to grow. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not really too much worried about other people anymore.
I get that. I had somebody I hadn't talked to for I don't know 6 or 7 months pop back up, and we were catching up, and I was telling them about living in the RV. And about I don't know 15 or 20 minutes after that, they were saying something about not discriminating against people that didn't have any money or something to that effect. And I think after I thought about it, after I got off the phone with them, I was like, oh, I think they were trying to say I was like, they weren't discriminating against me for not having enough money or something because I was living in an RV. I'm like, that doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Uh,
It's just a different living situation. I'm like, I don't know. It was just funny to me.
mm,
Um, like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I suppose people have their own judgments. Um, about everybody's life choices or whatever. But I'm just like, how is this a controversial topic? And I don't know. It was just funny to me. It was funny. Um, they were talking about moving into a new apartment downtown. And I was like, oh yeah, I looked at those. They're really nice. I was like, I would never pay that much.
Mm,
I would never pay that much to live downtown. I'm like, the rent is outrageous for that. But it's not because I can't make the money. I just who wants to be stressed trying to live like that? I don't know. Just doesn't make sense to me.
mm,
What can I say? I'm over here by the water where it's quiet,
yeah.
listening to the frogs at night.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Like I wouldn't trade this to be downtown. You can have downtown.
yeah. If I want to go downtown, I'll go visit.
I go downtown all the time. I end up that way quite frequently, but no, I don't want to. I don't want to stay there. I like the quiet. This is funny. Mm,
Yeah. The thing is, like where I live right now, I don't know. It's like the very edges of the suburb. But
hmm
like yeah, I could walk to the woods from here. Like 5 or 10 minutes, I could be in the woods. So I'm like at the very edge. But I could go north and be in the city,
hmm
um, and south and be in the woods, and then I'm kind of here in like the suburb area right now. And
Yeah.
I through the week, go through all the different zones. And so one thing I have been doing in like the last couple of weeks, especially, is going for walks like every day if I can.
Yeah.
Like even today, I went for a walk before I went to work.
hmm
And sometimes I go walk in the city. And I'm surrounded by people and everything. I'm just taking in that. Sometimes I go walk in the woods, and sometimes I just walk around the suburbs and go to the park or something. Like, um,
hmm
and I don't think I even have a preference, even to live. Like if I was, because I'll be moving into a new apartment hopefully next year. And I don't
hmm
care if it's in the city or if it's in the middle of nowhere or if it's in the suburb. I don't really don't care. Like,
Yeah.
'cause I like all of it at this point. I went through phases where like when I was younger, I wanted to be in the city. I lived in Philadelphia and like in the urban area for a while, and um, then I got out of the army, and I changed a lot, and I wanted to just be in the country and be away from people. And then at this point, I'm like, I don't think I even have a preference to where I want to be,
hmm
because I know that happiness is or contentment or whatever want to call it is internal phenomenon. Whatever's happened
hmm
externally is not that big of a deal. I could probably be walking around in Manhattan or whatever right now and be the same,
Yeah.
you know? Or be in the country in the mountains or whatever. It's
hmm
all pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe because I grew up out in the country, I just I like, you know, I say being in the city, which our city is not really what most people would classify as like a city. It'd be more like the suburbs, someplace else. It's not a big place. So I just, I don't know, I like it for short periods, but I wouldn't want to stay there full time. It's too much. I like the quiet.
Mm.
But, when I was living in the city, I'd just go into nature more where there was less people. So it's not like it's not doable.
Yeah,
It's completely miserable or anything like that. It's just not my preference.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of just how life unfolds. You know, sometimes you have a preference for the country, sometimes for the city, sometimes in between. Just
Yeah.
like I said, I don't. mm, I don't feel like for a while there. I felt like I had to be in the country, but I also realized I had a lot of attachments to the external world, and now I noticed that it's internally I feel at peace, and I don't. It doesn't matter what the external is. I can enjoy any of it.
Hmm.
Um, I love nature, but I also love the city. I love walking around the city and getting an ice cream or a burger or something like that. It's nice, or just people watch, or
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I get plenty of that doing work, getting to like meet all kinds of different people. So I feel like I get plenty of good interaction. Meet so many cool people, man. I met somebody else that was a writer, just like for fun or whatever. And he was telling me him and a couple of his friends were writing skits, I guess. And they were using for the setting, they were using a flea market. And it made me crack up so much because I was like, oh my gosh, for people in different parts of the country that they don't have flea markets and don't know that experience of like that would be hilarious to just introduce people to like the regulars of a flea market. I don't know, it was a fun concept. Like that would be cool if if somebody took that and it took off. It's, oh gosh, I don't know, man. It's an interesting environment. Yeah, I never know who I'm gonna get from other people too. You know, I get all kinds of good information and recommendations from people. So things that I wouldn't necessarily even think of, like places to go and eat, and I don't know, just all kinds of different things.
mhm.
Yeah.
So I think we have our hour of spoons. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think this is a good spot as any.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. If you're seeing this episode, this is episode 17, so you can go check out the other 16. We also got clips on the channel as well. Definitely, if you like any of our content, share it around. Um, if you want to catch the premiere, oh, first off, subscribe. And thank you for whoever subscribed over the weekend, I guess. And yeah, we never know where the mind's going to wander. This show really doesn't really have a theme other than the mind wanders, and we talk about all kinds of things as you saw today, and you'll see in other episodes. Spoons and I have a vast amount of interest and things to talk about. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, and we premiered a new episode on Monday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time (PM). And we also have a Telegram channel, and we'll be up on other platforms eventually. So thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, take care.